Hi.
Hi,
everybody. Happy New Year's Eve. If you're listening to this when it comes out.
Yep. Happy New Year's Eve. Happy almost 2025.
Happy almost 2025. What a year.
What a year, man.
What a year for backing in Beyond the Barricade.
Yep. Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Barricade. If you don't know, I am Madi.
And I'm Laura.
And this is our end of year recap episode.
Yeah, our final episode for the whole year.
Yeah.
What a year it's been.
I know. So today's just us. But we just wanted to have a short and sweet little episode where we kind of reminisce because this was the year that we launched this podcast. So
I'm a big sentimental gal.
Yeah. It's crazy that the year has come to an end.
Mm-hmm. Your hair looks so good.
Oh my gosh. So sorry.
This is it, guys. You're getting us off the rip. Yeah. Speaking truth, not distraction. Yeah. But yeah, a whole year.
It's insane.
We've done a lot.
We've done so much. We have gotten to work with so many cool people, talked to so many amazing fans, attended so many shows, flown all over the country.
Yeah.
Launched a podcast.
And at the end of the day, still didn't touch, I feel like, half of the things we wanted to.
I know.
But it's okay.
When we were prepping for this episode, we were talking about how we, just kind of wanted to recap the year, but also I think a lot of people do this at the end of the year where you reflect back, and I think it's really easy to pick apart things that you didn't accomplish or you didn't get to. And I unfortunately think that is just human nature of just, it's easier to dwell on the negatives or like the things that you didn't do. But I think we can sit back and say, we did a lot this year.
We really did. Right before we were hitting record, I opened up our YouTube channel, which we released all of the videos from all of our podcasts. And we were just kind of listening through certain ones and trying to pick out our favorite highlights. We recorded 16 episodes.
Which is insane.
That's insane. And then it was just reminiscing about all of the how far we've come.
Yeah.
We talked about this in our intro episode too, a little bit about how we wanted to start this podcast and have it be this random idea of we talk to the artists and the people in the industry. And now I'm looking at all of them, I'm like, oh my God.
We did it.
And we have still so much to do.
Yeah.
It's so cool. It's so fun. It's a lot. So this episode, I feel I'm sorry, I totally cut you off. This episode is literally just going to be a little recap, a little touch base of all of the things that we've done, but also, what we have coming.
Yeah. And all the things that we are excited to implement into Back in the Barricade and Beyond the Barricade going into 2025.
Yeah. Manifesting and, goal setting, holding us accountable, guys.
Yeah.
That's where you come in.
Because I feel it works better when we speak out loud what we want to do. And then we're like, oh, shit, now we have to do it.
Yeah. Yes. Literally. Hold us accountable.
Robbie's really trying to be a part of this episode. Robbie is L'Oreal's cat, in case you're not watching. Well, he's not even on the video. He hasn't made it up here yet. Wait. He really wants some. There he is.
His little paw is stuck.
That's our guest for today.
He's 18, guys. All right. He's an old man.
He goes where he wants. This is Robbie.
Say hi, Robbie.
The star of the show.
Good boy.
Truly.
Anyway. We don't have to include that part. Oh, we can. Anyway, guys. Yeah. So just kind of series of events, Madison.
Yeah.
We did a whole year.
We did.
Of episodes worth. We did more than an episode worth a month.
We did. Yeah.
Does that sentence make sense?
Yeah. We did more than once a month.
Yeah. Because we have 16 episodes.
Yeah. And I think we learned a lot with it because I think we started out very ambitious with wanting to do it once a week, but just we've mentioned on the podcast a lot, it's hard when you're very dependent on other people's schedules. But despite that, I feel we still got a lot of episodes done, got to talk to a lot of cool people, and kept it pretty consistent.
Yeah, we really did. We made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah. Which are fun to recount as well.
Which is why our first topic I think we should talk about. Our favorite mistakes that we made this year.
Oh, great. Okay.
Go.
All right. I have two, which I feel will probably be yours as well. The most traumatic one was when we forgot to hit record on our first virtual interview that we did. Had a great
Rowan Drake.
Rowan Drake had an incredible discussion with him, and then went to hang up the little Zoom equivalent of the software that we were using, and realized we never hit record. The entire 30-minute conversation
was gone.
Not there. Never hit record.
It's such a good convo.
We have video footage of our stomachs, like our faces when we realized what we did, just dropping. And we were both like, oh no.
Yeah.
And instantly fly into
problem
solving mode.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. We're like, okay, L'Oreal's like on Instagram, trying to message him, emailing his PR person that we were like originally in contact with, just being like, oh my God, like, is there any way we can get him back on? I'm looking at the software, seeing if there's like anywhere it was, if it recorded on like our cameras, anything. So that was really fun. They were so sweet and phenomenal and gracious, and we're happy to reschedule. And so we had to redo the episode. It ended up being incredible. We had another great discussion. Him and his team were so sweet.
Yeah.
So understanding about it, which I'm forever thankful for. But we will never make that mistake again.
Never.
But that was probably the biggest mistake that we made. And I think it felt big because it involved someone else. And that's always hard when you have to like admit that you messed up. And you feel like a burden having to take more of someone's time just because you made a mistake. So that was a fun little learning lesson for us.
Yeah.
Do you have another favorite mistake?
I think mine was probably more of like it wasn't like a mistake so much of just like something we could not control. And it was just like a learning moment for us and for the pod. And that was the Sad Summer episode.
Yes.
If you have no idea, we recorded an episode with Alex Garcia, the guitarist of Mayday Parade. They were in New Jersey. So it was like this whole build up to this like tour, the show. I was taking Madi back to Jersey. We were doing like the Lore's Lore tour.
Yep.
And it was going to be a great day. The weather was great, except for some lightning out in the distance that caused the whole festival to be postponed.
Which, if you know anything about live events, lightning
is a no-go.
Is the
outside events.
Yes. Lightning is the worst possible thing that could happen on the day of.
And it sucks because it was like right on the beach, this outdoor venue, and we were so looking forward to it. We were also like probably like getting interviews with like some other bands on that tour. And as soon as they canceled the festival, I remember we had a hotel room for that day, and it was right next to the festival, and we just hear over like the loud intercom like, it's delayed, it's backed up, it's postponed, and then it's off.
And then you hear a communal, just everyone
let out
groaning.
A sigh.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, but again,
problem solving
quick
mode.
on it. Like I'm getting out our phones. We're figuring out like, all right, who's leaving the festival? Who's going to the next location? What are we doing? And we reached out to our TM contact for the day, got our interview. It was downpouring.
Yep.
We were in the tour bus. It was so great. And yeah, that was like another quick on our feet, exhausted.
And I think we've said this in an episode and to each other before, but like as much as that situation just sucked because we had traveled and like obviously we're so grateful that we still got to do the interview because that would have just been horrible if we walked away with nothing. But like we were excited to see the bands that were playing at Sad Summer. We were excited. We were going to go interview fans. Like we had a whole big idea for the day, but I'm really proud of how we handled the situation and just kind of made the most of it. And we were both like, all right, this is what is going down. Let's try to make the most of it. And we still got our interview. Yep. It was a great one. Yeah, definitely big. Not even necessarily like a learning moment, but just still like good. You never know what's going to happen. So be prepared for anything and just roll with the punches.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have a favorite Madi moment.
Yeah.
Did you...
That was my other favorite mistake now that I can laugh about it.
Wait, what? Oh. No, it wasn't a mistake. It was just in general. If you have another favorite mistake.
My mistake, which we've talked about on the podcast as well, was me forgetting all of our podcast equipment to go record an episode with Young Culture. I almost said Youth Culture again. Young Culture. And we got to my car and L'Oreal goes, where's the podcast equipment? And I was like, oh no, back in my house 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
I was just going to think of like the moments that we've had this year where you're truly like, oh crap, that's such a L'Oreal move. And like, oh shit, that's such a Madison move.
Yes.
Or like, I'm just like so proud of you. This is.
You were going nice with it.
Yeah. You went so.
I went negative.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
And the podcast world, my favorite Madison moment has been your ability to be an audio engineer on the fly. in more than one areas. Okay, so beyond the podcast, like, yes, we have Hayden, who we love and adore so much. Hayden's Angels, hashtag, that's a thing. You set up all of our podcasts, like audio, the majority of the video equipment. I typically fuck around while you do this.
You're normally like schmoozing the guest while I'm like sweating, trying to make sure everything works. It's fine. We play to our strengths.
Yep. Yep. But also too, like recording on the street to like the fans. We've grown so much.
God.
From our little microphones.
Yes.
And you're just always thinking of the next best thing.
Better.
And then we moved on to like the little lapel mic. And then we moved on to the like Rode mics.
The good ones.
So you're always thinking of ways to make our production better.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
And it's so admirable because if it was just me, we would still be using a little tiny mic.
Originally, we had nothing. We had a hope and a dream and an iPhone. And that did not go great. Nope. We've gotten better. We've learned. Yeah, it's gotten better. My favorite lore moment ever. That just, I feel like represents our two personalities to a T. Who was it? I think it was the Neck Deep show. I can't remember. We were shooting a show at Southside Ballroom and we get done shooting the first 3. And so we go out of the photo pit, look at each other. Laura has her camera. She's like, I'm going in the pit. I was like, give me your bag. I'm going to get coffee. So L'Oreal just launches herself into the pit like a hero and crowd surfs with her camera.
Yeah.
I go up on the balcony.
Like a mom.
I have a photo of L'Oreal crowd surfing with her camera. Got 6 shots. And I was like,
amazing. You will find me in the pit.
Good. Always.
Yes, for real. Oh, it's such a good time. That's where I actually do feel like that was something more that I did this year than I've ever done in my life, where I actually just go into the pit of like the swarm of fans. And I mean, knock on wherever I have wood around me, like they're always so respectable. Yeah. And like honestly,
everyone takes care of each other.
Everyone takes care of each other in the pit. And if you're not, you're the dick and people know.
Yeah.
So
you're the odd one out.
The community that we heavily are in is very, very like look after each other. And I love it. Some of my favorite photos that I've taken this year have been of fans like in the pit.
Yeah.
Like
in the mosh pit.
Yeah, in the mosh pit, having the best time of their life. And I think it shows. And I love that.
Yeah. I love a pit too. However, if I don't start out in the pit, I will not be going in there because I am 8 feet tall and I feel like a burden when I enter the pit late.
So silly. I'm like, no, get out of it.
I'll be in the back with coffee waiting with all the bags.
That's true. Yeah.
We play to our strengths. It's good.
What's been your favorite fan encounter that we had this year?
Oh, I was just looking back through them. It's so hard because we've talked to so many cool people who have so many cool stories. One that will always stand out to me though, and just the show in general, was Noah Khan and getting to meet Julia and her dad.
Yeah.
So Julia and her dad have been going to Noah Khan's show since 2019. She has All My Love in her dad's handwriting tattooed. And then she also has Give Yourself a Reason on her arm. So just the sweetest people ever. Big Noah Khan fans, like follow him around. And I love that it was just such a sweet, I almost said mother-daughter, father-daughter relationship. But I think their whole family is involved in it too. Because Julia said that normally her sister and her
graduation
mom.
to go to it.
Cool.
Yeah, we love them.
That was one of my favorite stories. And just, I love Julia and her dad so much.
I think mine was the last Boys Like Girls Dashboard Confessional show we went to. We met these 2 fans at the Barricade. They were from Australia, I think. And afterward, we had this really great conversation with them. They were just telling us about, they traveled to the States, first of all, which is a huge trip to make.
Crazy.
And they were doing multiple shows. It was the last night of this tour. And I think it was the last night of this tour. And afterwards, a couple of days after, they sent us this long message on Instagram about how they were really nervous, at first, talking to us, but then hearing about what we're doing and then sharing their story, it meant so much to them. And it really, they said something around the lines of how it made like to like the top of their trip. Like it like really like
so
yeah,
wild.
it was so insane because we're just like, what? Like that's insane to us because honestly, like those messages mean the world.
Mean so much to us.
We've gotten a few of them, like even from you guys just like messaging us being like, how do we support you? Like, how do we like want to be a part of this? And we love what you're doing. And it's like, it is just us too.
Yeah.
Like, and so we see every message and every comment. And so that means a lot. Yeah. And that was really cool.
We can't even express how much those messages mean. And kind of like L'Oreal was saying earlier with like, I think I very easily get caught up in a like, the audio wasn't perfect or like, oh my gosh, the video is messed up or just like so many of the technical things because I want the stuff that we put out to be good. And I think I can almost focus on that to a fault. So like the messages like that just means so much to where I'm like, okay, like at the end of the day, we're sharing the stories. And if, you know, the technical aspects of it not being perfect is not anywhere near as important as getting out there and talking to people and getting to share the stories because that's why we started this and it's what we love.
And it is what we do. I mean, we've done a really good job at, you know, pivoting where if the audio doesn't catch properly, we'll figure it out. We'll make a post out of it. Like we'll do like a text version of their interview. Like it always works out at the end and we always just get the story out there. And that's the most important part.
Yeah. And one of my favorite pieces of content that we've created, obviously I'm a little biased because 21 Pilots are my favorite band in case you are unaware because I don't talk about it enough, obviously. But
this is a good question.
We made a video we asked all the fans that we interviewed that day, what does 21 Pilots mean to you? And we made a compilation video of everyone's answers. And I
editing that?
I tear up like every time. But again, I got caught up in technical aspects and the video made me really angry because like the audio levels would be different because we recorded on like our mics cut out at one point. So we were just recording on our iPhone and then we went inside and recorded. So obviously the audio was kind of different than outside. So again, I got caught up in the technicals, but like the finished product of the video, I was like, oh, like it's my favorite piece of content we've made because everyone's answers were just so beautiful. Yeah. And it's such a perfect representation of like why we do what we do in that just like little piece of content that we made. And I love it.
I think my favorite piece of content that we made, I have two that come to mind.
Yes.
One was Off the Rip, which I feel like is very, to me, like coded.
Yes.
And it was the state champs, like quick little, we're going to post this recap of their first two nights and we're going to put it up. It's 10:30 at night. Thomas was in full support of it. He said, why not? And I just said, Madi, why not?
And I said, all right.
And you said, fine, it's not going to do well. And then boom, people loved it.
Yeah, it did great.
And that was just such a fun one too, because now we're dipping our toes into like video more and like not show recaps, but like just fan experience recaps.
Yeah.
Which again is just like a new perspective of like the fan experience that I think is so fun to capture. And then the second one was when we went to Bleachers.
Yes.
And we met this girl. She's seen Bleachers over 70 times.
That was one of my favorite interviews as well.
And she had multiple tattoos and Jack Antonoff shared the video on his story. I cried. You guys, I don't think you understood. I was on my phone. It was like 11:30 at night, which is late for you.
Very late for me. The fact that I was awake was a miracle.
It was the Jack Antonoff miracle.
Yes.
Because I FaceTime Madison.
And I was like, what the hell does she want?
And I'm like screaming. And I'm like, look at your phone right now. And it was like my face on Jack Antonoff's story.
Yep.
Which, if you guys don't know, I'm a huge Bleachers fan and love him so dearly.
That was another one where it was just like perfect timing. And I'm also like, I'm so glad that you were the one doing that interview because you're the obvious. I like Bleachers, but you're the like actual Bleachers fan.
With the 21 Pilots.
Exactly. Yeah. And I feel like that interview wouldn't have gone as well as it did had you not like been on the same level fandom wise. And it's just so cool that like when one of your favorite artists shares your face, but one of your
Madison,
pieces of content.
Like? That's a personal highlight for you, I feel like.
Yeah. Also with 21 Pilots, I did have Josh Dunn share one of my photos on his story. We've had a great year.
What's been your favorite backing the barricade out of Texas moment?
I'm so annoying. I'm so sorry. We got to go to opening night album release night of Clancy in Columbus.
Oh my God.
A small show.
That was this year?
That was this year, which is, feels like forever ago. But that was wild because that's been like a bucket list item for me to see them at a hometown show in Columbus.
More fan content. That was so fun.
The fan content was insane.
You guys, they took over this small town-ish area. I mean, Columbus is probably a big city, but like
the area was like, it was like around the university.
Yeah. And it was wrapped around into like neighborhoods. And we just walked the whole line, just talking to people.
And there were fans from Germany.
Yep.
That like...
We met people from out of the country again. Yeah. And it was one of those things where it was just like the fan base is so strong and so embedded into this music. Yeah. And like... It was just like, for example, like that was my first time experiencing 21 Pilot fans as a whole. And I had no idea what to expect. And I had such a fun time, not even like going to the show. I was just vibing.
Yep.
I was literally there for the time. I tacked onto that trip real quick.
I got 2 tickets, which I didn't even get. I had an army of people trying to get tickets for me because it was
tough to get. They had questions you had to answer.
Yeah, you had to answer a trivia question to even be let in. It was a whole ordeal. Yeah. I had a team of people trying to get tickets, and I got 2. And I took my best friend Jen, who like she was the person that I introduced 21 Pilots to when they were like. Vessel was out, and I was like, I don't know, they're kind of weird, but like you might like them because like, and she's been a fan with me ever since. We've been to so many shows together, and L'Oreal was like, well, I'll just go to experience it, and she is such a real one for that. And
I was like, hey, we can do like fan content outside, and you were like, oh shit,
oh yeah, we should do that. Yeah, it was that was my favorite trip.
That was fun.
Yeah, that'll probably forever be one of my favorite trips because I loved being with you and Jen. We road tripped we went to Chicago where Jen lives, road tripped to
Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus, listened to that new album when it dropped at midnight.
Watched things in the hotel room.
Yeah, it was so fun.
We did make a trip out of it. We had the best food in my entire life. Brissy, I love you so much.
I unfortunately fell in love with Columbus because it is a cool city.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that was Columbus, Ohio.
That was for sure.
Shout out Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
I think my favorite travel out of the state was Four Chord.
Yeah. That was so fun.
Yeah.
It was such a good time.
We hung out with People Are Ugly. And they were playing the second day of this festival, but we were there the first day as well. And we had such a good, silly time.
We did.
Talked to so many fans again. We met this couple outside day 2. Like, they were first in of this festival, waited at the barricade for People Are Ugly.
Yeah, which was so crazy.
And we were like, what? And so we took a video and then like we ran back to like tell them, we were like, you guys, there's people outside like waiting for you guys. And they were like, what?
No.
Yeah. They were like one of like the openers. It was such a fun time. But that trip too, it was just like, it was so fun.
It was so fun.
Crazy. A lot of weird, like out of body, like looking back. I got my favorite little Polaroid.
Oh, yeah.
Don't remember what else happened there.
That was to end the festival with All American Rejects. It was a good time. Getting to watch All American Rejects side stage, if you remember it. Probably not.
I don't think we did.
Was gone at that point, but it's okay.
It was also my worst time of my life.
It was a fun time, but it was a fun time, but
it was a hard time. It was a time. So yeah, Four Chord was so fun. Columbus was so fun. Very dusty times on those flight home. Both of those.
Oh my gosh, I forgot. We were so dirty after Four Chord.
Mm-hmm. We were
just covered in dust. Yeah,
the Taco Bell run in Columbus that never happened.
The Uber.
Yeah, our Uber on the block is Madi is so good. She literally got us an Uber that picked us up at one corner of the street. Literally went a left turn, a right turn. Or no, I guess it was 2 lefts.
2 lefts.
And dropped us off at the same corner, just the other side.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I did do that.
You know, actually, that goes as my favorite mistake that you've done.
That was probably mine as well.
Yeah. It was a good time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think those are my favorite.
We've made a lot of good memories this
year.
Have.
Aww. I know.
Okay, last What was your favorite podcast episode that we recorded? Which is hard. We have a lot of good ones.
We do have a lot of good ones. I was going to say, like, 3 come to mind for different reasons.
Okay, go.
The first one was Max Bemis.
Yeah.
From Say Anything.
Yeah.
Because that was one where I feel like we worked it very well on the back end to get the interview to happen. We executed it. And then we just had like a good time like at the show.
Yeah. That was an accomplishment too, because we got a yes before we had launched the podcast.
Yeah.
Because I think that was the first episode we released.
So proof of concept was
not there.
But we had
a hope and a dream.
Yes.
And L'Oreal's expertise in writing email pitches.
I will cold email anybody if you just ask.
It's come in handy.
It has. Yeah. That was a really fun one. We were just kind of like watching a State Champs episode with Ty, mainly because so many people we talk to have a State Champs memory.
Yes.
Or like a tie back. And it kind of became like an inside joke between us.
Yeah.
Where we were like, this podcast is sponsored by State Champs.
Yes.
Because everybody looks up to them.
Yeah.
What has gone on tour with them is a huge part of...
fan.
Yeah, a huge instrumental part of like their development into what they're doing now. Like when we're talking to Gail, our first episode that we dropped, like it was like a huge thing. And so we finally sat down with Ty from State Champs and we're like, listen, we got a bone to pick with you. Everybody here loves you.
And it was like our longest episode, but like in such a good way because we just had
friends.
such a good time talking. Yeah, it was a good one.
And then also just the People Are Ugly shower episode.
Oh, such a good one.
Because that was one where we were setting up this interview, had no idea where we were doing it. It was the first night of that festival at Four Chord.
Yeah.
We're dusty. They're just landing.
Yeah.
Like they missed the first half of the episode because flights were delayed as things happen.
Yep.
And they were like, so where do you guys want to do this? And we were like, well, actually.
Funny you should ask because we don't know.
We're going in the shower. And they're like, what? And we're like, we're doing it in the shower.
It had the best lighting.
It did.
What do you do?
And so, yeah, I think that was like off the rip. Those are my top 3, I think I have in my mind.
People Are Ugly boys are always just so fun to talk to too.
They are. Love them so much. What about yours? What is your favorite episode?
I agree. It's so hard. I agree with all 3 of those for the reasons that you gave. Like they're so good. I also think that Alex Garcia from Mayday Parade will always be a favorite. Yeah. And like one at the time, and honestly probably still, that was like one of our bigger, if not biggest episodes, like as far as scale of artists that we've recorded with. So it felt like a big deal, but it also felt very redeeming of our trip because the festival ended up getting canceled. So it made the episode feel that much more special that it actually like happened. Because as we've mentioned many a times, we never announce who we're having on the podcast simply because you never know what's going to happen day of. Things get canceled. They they don't make it into town at the time that they thought they were. Timelines don't work out.
Sound check goes late. Yeah.
Stuff happens. And it really, really felt like it wasn't going to happen for a minute. And so it happened. Yeah. It was such a redeeming
That was also like a huge like, career one because like that was like a band like we listened to like in high school and stuff. And I was like, I told them about how I illegally downloaded their shit.
Yes.
Like so fun.
It was, I think that one stands out in my mind. Just in the, another just great trip that we took together. Good memories, even despite some road bumps.
Recapping it all, what has been your highlight of launching the podcast?
Oh.
Mine is becoming Argentina's #1 music episode. Music interview podcast.
We have the email to prove it.
I do have an email to prove it.
Merch coming soon.
Yes. No, I think...
what's yours?
I think mine has been like the connections that we've been able to like foster and these like relationships that have formed without it. Not even so much with people in bands. Yeah. But the back end of it.
Oh my gosh. Like, can we shout out Nate?
We have so many people to like...
We have so many people now. I shouldn't have said that because we're going to forget people now. But so many people have helped make this a reality.
Yeah. Nate is like off the top of the head. Like that's like one that we have been emailing like constantly back and forth. And then like I got the opportunity to like meet him in person. And it's just like crazy, just like how nice it is when somebody else believes in what you're doing and they're like
tries to help.
Yeah, tries to help and is always thinking about ways that we can continuously keep working together.
Mm-hmm.
But
I want to appreciate
Becky is another one. I'm like,
Nate is the reason that we got to work with Boys Like Girls, which was also the reason that we got to interview those fans.
That show was so much fun too.
The show was so fun. We got to shoot the whole thing, got to do some behind the scenes work with them, and also we really only got to interview fans at the show because we worked directly with Nate and the Boys Like Girls team. So
that was when we did Victoria's interview
with Taylor Acorn.
It was Victoria and Ellie. They were on Taylor Acorn's crew. And we were like walking by and somebody's like, hey, is that the Barricade Girls? And we were like...
I mean, my heart's so happy.
Like, yeah, that's us. Hi.
You can refer to us as the Barricade Girls anytime.
Anytime you want
it.
Yes. But yeah, that was like our contact of the day who was like, oh yeah, like I'm waiting for them because they're working with Boys Like Girls too.
Yeah.
And we're like...
Middle school Madison would never believe that
the stages that we've been on
would ever leave. Yeah. I shot that whole show on film, which was like a bucket list thing that I wanted to do.
Yep.
Which was just like a personal little like thing that I only got to do because of the connections we made.
Yeah.
Because of the podcast. So yeah, really, really thankful for the connections, and just the people that we've met are so cool and so great to work with. And it feels like we're all helping each other out.
Yeah.
And the rooms that we get to be in and the fans that we have access to because of them is great.
It's awesome. That's my favorite part.
I think that's probably my favorite part too. It's also just been a new challenge of like something new that like neither of us have done. And I think this whole project, I love just like figuring things out, and we make mistakes along the way, but we get better because of it.
Exactly.
It's been a great time.
Are you a resolution gal?
Oh, yeah.
You are?
Big time.
Really?
Big time.
Wow.
Yeah. It's cheesy and sentimental, say what you want, but I'm a big New Year's resolution girl.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Are you?
You know, I don't know.
Okay.
Do you think I am? I think
I could see you being someone who doesn't do it for like January 1st because that's what everyone does. But I could see you like at certain points in your life being like, okay, I have a resolution now.
I'm like a hater at heart. So
yes.
So I think it's the idea of like a resolution. I'm like, you shouldn't have to wait for like the first of the year. Like if you want to do something, if you want to do something bad enough, make the change right then and there.
See, I agree. But when presented with the opportunity, might as well take it. So, it's there.
2025 is the year that L'Oreal will maybe make a resolution.
Good. You have it. Just use it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not the only time you can make a resolution.
But. Exactly. Yeah. Resolution, goals, aspirations for Backing the Barricade and Beyond 2025.
Okay. How vulnerable are we getting with this?
Oh, we're getting vulnerable. This is the last episode of the year, Madison. 2024 is done.
It is. You go first. Because I'm going to base mine off of yours.
I think, and I'm part of Madison and I did agree to this, like saying this idea before I asked because we need help being held accountable to things because we are notorious for saying things. And then looking back,
we never did that.
Okay, forgot about that part.
Yeah.
So we need you guys to hold us to this. I think we are serious with it, but we are going to, I have a few. I think we are going to launch a Patreon. Yep, that's the one. We're going to launch a Patreon.
When L'Oreal learns how to say it, we're going to launch it.
That's good. I like that. We're going to launch a Patreon and we're going to launch merch.
Yeah. Merch will probably come first. It's a little less of an undertaking.
Yes.
And it goes back to,
go on.
I don't know how to say this without being...
Say it.
But so many people have messaged us and just been like, we love what you're doing. Like, how do we support you? And we haven't really had an answer other than like following us. So
people also, though, have asked, where's the merch?
Yeah, true. So keep an eye out.
Keep an eye out because
that is in the works.
Yes, that is actually happening right now in the works. I think another one for me, and we talked about this actually on the phone last night on FaceTime. You don't even remember.
Wait, yes. Okay, yeah.
I think there's a big opportunity for us to actually connect with any band in particular or any tour in particular, festival, whatever it may be, and do exclusive fan content for either that run, that festival, whatever, or that artist.
Just dig deeper with their fan base.
I want to be more like, this is like, again, a goal, an aspiration, whatever, like more intentional with like a project, like project-based thing for like a band.
Yeah.
whether it be a small band like on their first tour or whatever that's like has like a huge following like online to like a legacy tour or something like that. Like I think it could be so cool. And we have so many ideas and we've shared these different ideas of like what we could do. And I really want that to happen in 2025.
I agree.
Yeah. Go, Madison. What is your...
I'll piggyback off of that. I don't know if it's
I want you to be vulnerable.
I don't... This is vulnerable. I don't know. I'm not going to limit it to 2025 because I don't know if it's like feasible for a year. I want to work directly with 21 Pilots really bad. Not because I am a huge fan, but I just think their fan base represents what Backing the Barricade is all about, like to a T, and is exactly the kind of fan base that we could dig really deep in and find so many stories to share and just get to do something really cool with. So I agree 100%. We've talked a lot about like wanting to work directly with a band. They are one that, aside from just being a huge, huge fan of theirs, I just think like their fan base is kind of why I came up with the idea of Backing the Barricade, because I saw it through their fans and just kind of organically.
Yeah.
So I want to work directly with them in some way. James, our good friend, James Kaufman, who is also a phenomenal...
We love our father.
Yes. He has been more vulnerable with posting about like wanting to work directly with artists that he really admires. So I am taking a note from his book.
Yes.
I want to work directly with 21 Pilots, and we're going to. Maybe not 2025, but...
Down the road, eventually.
I'm trying to think of other aspirations. The merch store was definitely a big one that I think is going to be the soonest that we'll get up and running quick.
I just thought of another one.
Go.
Again, 2025 might be too tight. I want to go international.
Yes. Yeah.
I want to go and like talk
Let's go to Europe.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Let's go to the UK.
Let's go to Australia.
Oh my God. Japan. I'm going to Japan. I want to go to Japan so bad, just personally.
Yes.
Listen, guys.
We're available. Any bands out there listening, we're ready. We have our passports.
We do.
We're ready.
Take us. But yeah, no, I want to go international.
Tyler Joseph, if you're listening.
Listen, if any band's listening, okay? If your name is Tyler, sure. Like, we know many of Tylers.
I guess. Tyler Joseph specifically.
Yeah, I want to go international.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good one. Yeah. And just, I mean, not as specific. No, that's good. Just travel more too in general, because we've done a lot of that in the last year, and I just want to keep the snowball rolling, keep going. Yeah. This is your idea, but I want something again, maybe not 2025, but like I want to do a zine or a photo book. I just like print.
A coffee table book.
Yes. I have such a love. That's something that I asked my parents for Christmas this year, and I got just photo books. I love them. I love seeing work in. Yep,
I have many.
She has them everywhere.
Yeah,
I love seeing work in
we
print.
We are photographers first.
Yeah, and I think that's where art is supposed to be physically in the world and not just on your screen. I'm a big with shooting weddings. I feel like that way too. Like I feel like albums are so important. Like. It's not just meant to live on your phone. So that's something that I would like to do, whether that's with a band or on our own. Maybe that's a merch item down the road. Yeah. I don't know. But that's something I'd really like.
We can do like a fan version, and then we can do like a show version.
Look at that. Wow. Ideas are cooking.
Always. We're never not cooking.
Yeah. We have a lot of aspirations.
We do. And that's why we're saying them out into the open, because there is a lot of power in speaking on them, writing them down. I will say I do believe in like manifestation and like thinking positively. You have to open up that door in your subconscious to be able to receive the good intentions to then put things in motion and then allow things to happen and transpire out in front of you. We have so many goals, so many aspirations. 2024 was so fucking fun.
It was so good. And it really was just us like trying everything and figuring out what works. And I feel like next year is going to be us just refining things and getting better. And oh no.
Listen, guys. For those who are not watching.
You should be.
You should be.
Because we're fun.
And we love buzzy balls.
Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
These things, listen, have fueled
Sponsor us.
many of things. Women-owned company, women-owned podcast. When Backing the Barricade first started and we started doing interviews with fans,
yeah,
we needed some liquid courage. A lot of liquid courage. And the buzzball happened.
This was our drink of choice.
Because it's so convenient. It's so small.
It's the perfect size.
Perfect size, small girl, and they're potent and fun. So I thought, what a fun way to end 2024.
Look at that.
With none other than our favorite.
How else would we go out?
You guys, cheers. Salud. I will say, closing thoughts. As the year comes to an end.
Yes.
We've done a lot of shit.
We have.
We've done a lot of cool fucking crap. We've gotten on each other's nerves a lot.
We persevere.
We're being so honest.
We persevere.
No, we are not perfect.
No.
There has been many of nights.
We've aired out our laundry on here. It's fine.
Yeah.
We are not perfect.
We are not perfect.
Messed up many a times.
Many of times. We've gotten too sad, drunk, many of times.
Yeah.
We live and we learn. We listen and we don't judge. But at the end of the day, we push each other, and kind of like what you said in the beginning, we work to our strengths.
Yeah.
And we rely on each other when we know we have a weakness, which I think is so like true to ourselves. And also it's not a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
A lot of people will just hold on to their pride and choke it.
And I think I'm so thankful that it just worked out, that we work so well together. And I do think that we complement each other so well, because where I fall short, I think L'Oreal excels, and I think vice versa. And it works so harmoniously, which I am very, very thankful for. And I'm very thankful that we're very similar in the same way of like, we just jump into problem solving mode when necessary.
I was just thinking that,
Like
we don't let our emotions, we don't let our emotions take over when a situation is out of our hands.
Yeah. And when we have things to do, like we don't have time to dwell on it. We just figure it out.
Yep.
And I'm very thankful for you.
Very thankful for you.
Wow.
And we're thankful for you guys tuning in, turning up, showing up.
Yeah. Liking any posts.
Commenting.
Sending us messages. Oh my God. We've gushed over that already,
but keep it coming, because that makes us so happy.
That fuels us.
Yelling at us at a show.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It's my favorite thing.
Yeah. A few people have recognized this before, which is so wild. So cool.
I have so many videos on my phone of us not sober. Being like, Madison, somebody just knows who you are. And you're like, no. And I'm like, Madison, somebody saw you. And you're like, that's not true.
No.
Keep an eye out on our social medias, because as this year comes to an end, I am, like I said, I'm very sentimental, and I like to make little recaps. So we're going to have a few videos pop in and out. I've been working on them.
Yep. Oh, L'Oreal's going to make me cry. It's okay.
I am. Yeah. It's going to be so good.
Oh, God.
But we appreciate you guys so much. We have so much stuff like also in the works, I feel like, for 2025. Like we talked about manifesting and kind of speaking out what we hope to do. But I really do feel like 2025 is going to be a big year for us, for Backing the Barricade as a whole, for personal growth, professional growth. Because things are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Yep. If you guys remember Madison.
Drunk Madison manifested
on October 17th, 2023. Madison was very,
you can't see
one
it.
You still can't see up there.
But it's up there. Believe us.
Madison was like, you're leaving your full-time job.
And L'Oreal was like, no. And I was like, yes.
Anyway, things are happening.
Things are happening.
And we're so excited to take you guys along with us.
Thank you for following along so far. And yeah, we'll see you in the next year.
Yeah, you can follow us on our social media.
Everywhere. If you're not already, subscribe to the podcast so it pops up to you every time we got a new episode.
Yep. Join our Patreon, which will be launching. Because you guys will get first exclusive dibs on shit.
And kind of to L'Oreal's point that she said earlier, with like one of the biggest perks of this podcast is making connections and the people that we get to work with. There's just so many more opportunities and doors are opening that make it possible and make cool content something that we can do and something worth having a Patreon for. So
Yes.
we've got a lot in the works, but thank you for following along so far. Please continue to do so.
We're just getting started. We promise.
Yeah, we've got a lot of cool things in store for 2025, and we can't wait to share them with you.
I'm so excited. I love you.
I love you.
I love you guys.
We love y'all.
You.
Thank you for following along. We love Backing the Barricade and Beyond the Barricade
We love
so
the fans.
much. We love getting to do this, and we hope to get to do it for as long as y'all will let us.
Love you guys. Bye.